friends, welcome back to another episode of For All the Lonely Souls. My name is Erica, and it's been quite a while since I've done a podcast. I think about 5 days, so I've got a couple of them lined up for you today for this holiday week. If you celebrate Thanksgiving or planning on eating delicious foods this week with friends, family, or just one-on-one, there's no shame in that. Food is great, whatever you're doing. So I'm going to bring you quite a few episodes this week for you to listen, enjoy, connect, and say, hey, what's up? So today is going to be a fun one. I've been writing in notebooks for the past couple of years, and what I've been doing a lot with other social media platforms like Talk Life, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, I'm compiling a lot of my notes that I've taken, personal journal entries, and sharing tidbits of what I've found from other people or logged personally in these notebooks, and just sharing them out. So thought I would do one here on these podcasts in a more unique way, where essentially I'm just going to pick a journal, open it up to a page, pick a quote or something that happened within that time frame, and just talk about it. So here we go. So this notebook I got from my father-in-law. He gets free ones from work, which is really awesome because I'm writing all the time. It's a University of Cincinnati notebook, so no other than it being a gift for that purpose. Here's the quote that I picked. Depleted self-esteem can get in the way of your goals. Anytime you find yourself in an environment that dilutes your self-esteem, picture your 4-year-old self and try your best to be his or her hero. Recently, I've been focusing on every single second of every day, letting it be what it's going to be. Much more relaxed in every situation, no expectations, but being very proud about my reactions to things, how I'm focusing more on myself that can then give back. So a lot of the energy and self-esteem that I've developed over the past couple of weeks has simply been because I've been taking the time to focus on myself and give back to the areas that I know that I've really needed to better support and enhance that. My self-esteem wasn't always very high. In fact, a lot of my childhood, I definitely felt like I didn't have any. I didn't even know what it meant. I thought that our job as a human being is to fit into other people's shoes and understand where they're coming from, yet only using that understanding and being that instead of realizing that you need to understand yourself as well too. That's the only way you can truly give back is by knowing what you like, what you don't like, what you vibe with, what kind of energy you provide for others, and how you give that back to yourself, and keeping that consistent. So being really self-aware is super important to build your self-esteem. So if you're somebody out there who's like, my self-esteem sucks, I don't believe in what I can do, I don't really have anything to offer, which, by the way, all of these things I had told myself for a very long time, know that all of us have something deep within where we are capable of doing amazing, amazing things. We have every opportunity to succeed, but the only way to succeed in your life is for you to put in the energy and the time and consistency into figuring out what you like to do, what you don't like to do, what types of people you really gain a lot from versus people that you just kind of spend time with but don't really bring anything to the table. Really evaluating and auditing where you are now and where you want to be, and focusing and believing in that every single day then creates a consistent pattern of you doing that and believing that for yourself. So this morning I went into this app called Talk Life, which I briefly mentioned a second ago. There are not many users on it. If you're looking for a community related to like loneliness and depression and anxiety in terms of supporting yourself or supporting other people going through it, I made a whole podcast episode about it a couple episodes back. So I was on there this morning going through, posting consistently like I've been doing in a lot of platforms, and I asked a question this morning that said, what 3 words best describe you? And I know that I was going to get some negative feedback, but I wanted to see what kinds of words were negative. And if these people posted these negative words and I reply back to them with whatever response, will they have the courage to come back and reply? Are they interested in having a conversation? Or are they saying things that have just been burned in their brain and didn't realize that they have an opportunity to think outside of that negative thought. So sometimes we're in situations mentally where we don't even know that we're caught. I feel like it's a little difficult to explain. I've been having these moments lately where I'm trying to bring my thoughts into words, but my brain is moving so fast that I haven't figured out how to say it yet. So bear with me. Every episode can be a little bit different depending on that area. So some of the responses I got from people were things like sad, depressed, hate my life, lazy, boring, not worthy, stupid, all of these things that I know that I had said it myself once, but hearing someone else just even put that into text form on a screen that's there in the universe forever makes me feel like I'm very grateful for how far I've come with myself, and now I can utilize that not only to continue bettering my mentality of who I am, but also helping other people catch themselves in what they're in. Because a lot of times we don't know that we're saying these things to ourselves. We just say them and we don't realize the impact that it has long-term on our thinking, on our relationships, on how we perceive the world, on who we believe we are versus, how we truly are. I think that negative language within ourselves is detrimental to our health. And I think the same thing about positive language. But when you're in the negative language for so long, it's hard to get out of the positive. And sometimes you need like a reaction that's pretty intense. So I replied to a lot of these people and gave them very supportive feedback, but also let them know that every decision they make and every word that they say is completely their choice. You have the choice for the thoughts that are based on positivity in your head or negative. If you catch yourself and and you're aware of that happening, you can flip it. So becoming aware of what's going on in your head, whether that's figuring out what you like to do or figuring out what things you're saying to yourself or figuring out what you think the world is, paying attention to yourself is the biggest thing when it comes to believing in who you are. So your self-esteem, the only way to build it up is to spend time with yourself. Do the things that you enjoy. Listen to what's going on in your head. Give back to your body. You only have one. Exercise. Even if you're not into exercising, like hardcore at the gym, that's totally fine. Walk for 45 minutes every single day. Do some light weights by, carrying your groceries up the stairs instead of taking the elevator if you live in an apartment. I mean, there are little things that you can seriously do every single day that can impact the overall greatness of your life. But you have to be willing to wake up, make that decision, and say, fuck it. I'm tired of living this way. It's not doing me any good. In fact, it's become worse as I've sat in it. And I want to feel like I matter. I want to feel that way. If there's a want, then there's a way. Like they say, if there's a will, there's a way. So your will has to be your want. You have to want something bad enough in order to get it. If you want it bad enough, things will come in play where you really have to see if you have the balls to do it. But when you do it, you feel so fucking good. And there's little things that you get to feel good about where you can celebrate. Like I had a meetup at the bowling alley last week. This was so amazing. So this is cool. My last meetup, we went to Maple Heights Lanes, which is this tiny little old bowling alley that's been there since the early 90s. It's so cool in there. They don't open until 6 p.m. And on Tuesday nights, they do $7 bowling with shoes, which is like such an amazing deal for a group of people because bowling can become pricey. And also there were drinks, there were like light bites, and it was just really cool. The bowling alley, it had that old feel to it. It was nice, and it was cosmic bowling. The music was good, the drinks were good, the environment was great, everyone's laughing and bowling and connecting, and it was just such a great environment, and I could feel that. So I definitely let another layer of my truth come out that evening. I seriously love to dance. I dance all the time whenever I'm at home, when I'm in the car, when I'm in the shower. That's me, singing every single song, always feeling with the music. Always been that way, and I will always be that way. So normally when I'm in front of friends, unless I'm at a wedding, I won't dance. Nobody really dances anywhere unless you go out to a club or a really swanky dinner where there's dancing. or like a celebration. So I've been to a lot of weddings recently, and dancing is where I'm always at. I'm always on the floor. I love it. It's my thing. But I don't feel like I should have to wait for a wedding to dance in front of people. And I'm not the greatest dancer, but I love to move, and that's all that matters to me. It makes me feel so good. I'm so happy. Dancing in front of all these people at my meetup. Most of these people I've met like a handful of times. Others, it was their first time. And there were about 30 people that came. I just didn't care. The music was amazing. There were so many funny moments where songs related to friends or throwbacks or just connections to specific moments in my life where I felt like I'm in the right moment at the right time to just let it happen. Let people take it or leave it and just see how it goes. It's uncomfortable to dance in front of people. I was one of the only people doing it, but soon others started to move around, and it was really a really nice connection. So not all connections are verbal, not all connections are emotional. Sometimes it's just knowing that you're not the only one in the world that loves life. You're not the only one in the world that is going through a tough time. You're not the only one that sees that there's a better way out and it sucks, and you just need a little bit of support to continue finishing that path that you're stuck in. So I'm feeling really good today. Not feeling like I'm stuck. I feel like I'm pulling myself out of a time in my life where I did not know what was going on, especially with this podcast starting about 3 weeks ago, my meetup group starting about 5 months ago, and community is growing. I created a LinkedIn group this morning that's also called For All the Lonely Souls. There's not a lot of loneliness topics within LinkedIn right now, but it's literally on every other platform, and it's something that people are starting to talk about, especially in the UK. There are tons of articles about loneliness. So if you're on Twitter and you're looking within #loneliness, you'll see a bunch of topics that are continually updated. Some of them are people's personal preferences, like quotes or experiences they're going through, but then you'll find other, which is helpful to know you're not alone. But then there's also people who are writing articles, creating video content related to it. There's not as much in the United States right now. So I'll be that for now. I'll be that. If you are looking for other ways to stay connected to this podcast in general, or if you're somebody who'd really like to be a guest on this podcast, I'm taking volunteers who are brave and inspiring, which is all of you, but anyone who feels most confident and comfortable to be a guest on an episode. Here's what I'm looking for. Ultimately, all of these podcast episodes are to provide connection through understanding of each other from different perspectives, but also knowing that we all go through shit in our life. That's how life rolls. That's the way it goes. But when we go through them, we have the opportunity to push through and become stronger because of it, or we can just let it cripple us. So experiences that have related to you pushing through stuff and where you are now, or things that are currently happening and you just need either another supportive ear, other feedback, or you're just brave enough to talk about your deep shit, because we all have it. We all go through it, and I'm right there with you. So you can always hit me up directly through here in the comment section below, or you can just send me any form of contact in whatever way. I'm on Instagram, callie.poppies. I'm also on TikTok, positively.erica, YouTube, positively Erica, Lonely Souls on Meetup. All these details, you could always hit me up. I'm more than happy to connect with you in whatever way. Providing support is the biggest thing. So I'm on a lot of different platforms. You can connect with me in whatever way works best for you, but also know that I'm looking for people. I'm looking for amazing people to really connect with and share this with. So in the upcoming days, I'm going to have somebody else on this podcast for sure. His name is Troy. Troy's from my meetup. We have a lot of similarities and connections, but he is just definitely somebody who's gone through a lot of tough shit and wants to share his perspective, and we're going to just chat about it. So stay tuned. More of those things will be coming. And yeah, we're going to do more of these notebook flip throughs. So take care, whatever you're up to today on this Monday. Hope you had a fabulous weekend.